So you want to embrace your style. You want to discover your style. You want to solidify your style, whether it's in watercolor or oil paint, maybe photography or videography, whatever it is. You clicked on this video because you feel maybe a little bit stuck and you want to know what to do about that. And so I want to talk about one small aspect of embracing your style, discovering your style that I have not seen anyone else talk about. So let's get into it. What's up, friends? My name is Theo Davis. I am a full-time artist and I run the Kansas City Art Mail Club. Got some shops around Kansas City, send over 700 pieces of mail to different people throughout our city and in 30 states right now. And I do it all through a watercolor style. I make watercolor art of our city, and people love it. They've been hanging it up, they've been framing it, making little books out of it. It's really fun to see people embracing my artwork. But I want to talk about how I got to this particular style, because a lot of people will see my artwork and they'll know right away in Kansas City that, hey, is that a Theo Davis? Hey, that looks like Theo Davis. Like, first of all, so flattering. Thank you. But my style, I went through a bunch of different phases with my style as I was trying to discover my style. And I really want to show you something that I don't think enough people talk about, and that's this. Your style is probably already within you. You probably already have that style, and instead of trying to move away from it, you should like lean into it and embrace it. Here's what I mean by that. I was cleaning up my studio space because I wanted to do more YouTube videos and more long form content. And I found a bunch of my old watercolor paintings, and they're even dated. I numbered them and I dated them. This one is from 2014, right? And then I have one of a couple of my more recent watercolor paintings, and I wanted to just show you an example, a side by side. These are 12 years apart. Okay, so if you know me, then you already know that I make watercolor art of Kansas City. And my style, it's not just watercolor, it's watercolor in ink. So let me show you my latest painting. This is my latest painting for the Kansas City Art Mail Club. And I just love how this came out. I do a lot of art of architecture, and I specifically outline everything in ink, and then I color with watercolor on top of that. And I just really like that look. Personally, I'm not really drawn to pure watercolor where there are no like sketchy lines, but I've always liked the illustrated look to my artwork and this particular artwork. And I just love how I got some of these, whoops. I just love how I got like some of these details and gave like the impression of a bunch of brickwork and the impression of all the little tiles without actually going like line by line, little notch by notch with each tile. And yeah, I just really like this. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to take a nice quality picture of this, send it off to the print shop, print about 700, 800 of them, because sometimes more people sign up and I want to make sure I have that available for people. And then I send this out to over 700 besties all across Kansas City and beyond. Let me show you another one of my more recent paintings that I just put in some of my shops. This is another one. This is of one of the shuttlecocks, the one closest to the Nelson Atkins on the back lawn. And again, I do ink. I outline everything in a black, like fine pen, and then I put watercolor over top of that. And I just love that particular blend of things. So boom, there is kind of like my current style. Let me just flip back to this page. Now I want to show you one of my older pieces, and I actually numbered them. I found them in a box. So this one is from May 23rd, 2014. This is my sixth watercolor I've ever done. I never did watercolor before this year. 2014 is the year that I started with all of this. And I think I've either lost or sold the 5 previous ones. I need to look around to see if I can find those. But this is the current oldest watercolor that I have, and let's take a look. Ta-da! Let me move my tea out of the way. So when you look at these side by side, here's what I want you to notice. When I was doing this, I had never, when I made this, I had never sold a single painting before. I've never sold a single piece of art before. I was doing this purely based on my love for art and that I just wanted to get better and I wanted to kind of discover my style. And here in my very sixth painting ever, I think this is the first one where I incorporated, oh, that's why I kept this. This is the first one where I incorporated ink along with the watercolor. So my previous five paintings were all just watercolor, but this was the first one that I incorporated ink. And I really liked how it looked because it looked like a storybook. It looked like one of the many books my mom would read to me as a kid. This looked like it was ripped right out of a children's picture book, and I loved this. And let me show you a couple of other ones. This one is dated, this is number 8 apparently, dated May 26, 2014. And with this one, I just looks like I did just a little bit of ink. So you can see like I did little bits of outline, but I let the watercolor speak mostly for itself. And I like how this turned out, but still wasn't like I was trying to go for something that I was trying to do less ink because I wasn't seeing a lot of other watercolor artists use ink. And I wanted to be like everyone else. But I kept gravitating back toward that particular style. Here's one of the Maryland flag that was just watercolor. And I thought this was cool. I tried to splash it up with little dots of watercolor here and there, but it just didn't really settle with me. Same with this one here. This is just watercolor, and so had some fun with the sky and the moon or sun, whatever this is kind of cosmic, whatever. But again, this one here, by the end of the year, December 28th, what do? I come back to ink and watercolor, and I'm just playing around with the combination of ink and the combination of just of watercolor. And let me move these out of the way. What I like about this one is that I was intentionally trying to not be very like detailed and just using squiggly lines. Because that's just what I felt like I wanted to do. And so over the course of time, I kept trying to gravitate back toward like, well, I want to be a pure watercolorist. I want to just make something with nothing but watercolor. But this is my voice. This is what I love. From the very beginning, this combination is what spoke to me, and this combination is what speaks to people to this day. So, having said all of that, what I'm trying to um, what I'm trying to help you embrace is that you probably already have a style that you just kind of do naturally. And when discovering your style should not be so labor intensive that you hate the process, right? Because if you hate the process, it's probably because you're trying too hard to mimic someone else. If you hate the process, it's probably because your brain just doesn't think that way, and it's taking so much time and energy to translate someone else's style into your own version of that style. And so I would just encourage you to, like, what do you gravitate toward? Do you gravitate toward more realistic stuff because you find joy in it? Do you gravitate toward more abstract stuff because you find joy in it? I have this friend here in Kansas City who wants to go off to France to be a missionary. She does this lovely, lovely abstract work. And it's what she gravitates toward. And I did not appreciate abstract work really until I met her. I had a light appreciation for it, but after meeting her, she would send me videos and articles about abstract works, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I began to love abstract work because she loved abstract work, because she embraced it and she was helping me understand it. And to this day I'm like, I'm not an abstract artist, but I appreciate it and just totally want to support her and other abstract artists. And so, what do you gravitate toward? What's the more natural leaning for you? And so, I would encourage you to just sit down with a paintbrush, with a pen, with markers. Go out with your camera, if it's photography or videography, whatever the creative endeavor is for you. What comes naturally? And then figure out that, and then you can build upon that. Again, this came naturally for me, and I really liked how this turned out. I still love how this turned out to this day. What I did over time is I just learned to bring out the watercolor more. I learned to know where to put detail, where not to put detail. And yeah, the styles are pretty much the same. So I hope you find your creative style. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Leave a comment down below if you want any other tips or tricks, and I will see what I can do. Hoping to do one of these a week now. Thanks a lot for joining me here at Theo Davis Art. Sign up for the Kansas City Art Mail Club, 700 strong. Going to be sending out this beauty in a little over a week. So sign up before the end of March and be more than happy to send that your way.